So doing some from worksheet 3, looking at number 4. There is no rule for roots, so you're right to change it to powers. There's also no rule, there's no power rule, there's no quotient rule, there's no chain rule. So the only thing I can do is distribute. And then you can do each of those powers separately. So when I distribute, now we get into our exponent rules. Kelsey, what's 5x times x to the 1/2? So I'm not calculus yet, I'm just well, yes, it is 3/2 because you added the exponents. So it's 5x to the 3/2. Again, that's not calculus yet, that's just algebra. Kenneth, how about 5x times x squared?
5x cubed.
5x cubed. Now we're ready to do calculus. So, Bailey, how about the antiderivative of 5x to the 3/2? Well, I'll give you the 5. So just the antiderivative of x to the 3/2. 2/5 x to the 5/2. Yes, increase the power by 1, divide by the new power, and you can also then see that 2/5 times 5/2 would cancel out to get back to 5x to the 3/2. We'll clean that up in a minute. Abby, how about the antiderivative of 5x cubed? Good. Increase the power by 1, divide by the new power. Obviously, you're not going to forget the plus c if it's multiple choice, and they've all got a plus c on them. A little bit of cleanup. 2x to the 5/2 minus 5/4 x to the 4th. There's 5/2. 2x to the 5/2. There it is. Answer C. So 1, 2, 3 doesn't need any algebra, 4 needed algebra, 5 needs algebra, like algebra first. 6 isn't too bad. Let's see. Ooh, speaking of algebra, how about number 8? Number 8. Luke, tell me something about number 8. I don't like the way number 8 looks right now.
Well, you start on the bottom and change to x 1/2.
Okay, so you're going to change the square root to x to the 1/2. Yeah, that's a good first step. Like some people would maybe do more than that, but it's okay because it's correct and you're headed the right direction. Austin, what would you do next?
You multiply the bottom.
Okay. What's that get you if you multiply those together?
So it'll be x to the 3/2.
Yep. Caden, are we ready to take an antiderivative yet?
Once you just move it up from negative x to the 3/2.
Wait, say that again?
Like flip it.
Yes, so what would it be? I think you just said it wrong.
X to the negative 3/2.
Yeah. Okay, so that was algebra before we did any calculus. And again, if you're really good at algebra, maybe you skip all the way there. But maybe it's wiser to slow it down and go one step at a time on the algebra. Dylan, now we're ready for calculus. So what's the antiderivative of x to the negative 3/2?
2x to the negative 1/2.
Let's see. Oh, you're going out of order than my brain is going. So I increase the power by 1. So I do get x to the negative 1/2. And what did you say the coefficient was?
2. Instead of dividing by 1/2.
Instead of dividing by,
Be negative 2.
there you go, negative 2. X to the negative 1/2 plus c. And that is an answer choice. Just be careful because they could switch that back to like root form and make it 2 over, oops, it'd still be negative, 2 over square root of x. But they didn't do that. They left it like this. So answer choice A. So yeah, that was like 5 algebra steps and 1 calculus step. I fear I'm going to need to re-ink this stamp for the next test. 10, 11, and 12 all have something in common. What do they have in common? They're fractions. What will I have to do before I antiderivative? I have to divide. There is no quotient rule, so I have to fix those before I antiderivative. Your choice, 10, 11, 12. Let's do one of them, but not all of them. 11? Okay, I was going to opt for 12, but 11 works. So I'm going to have to divide each of those. So that's... Why am I doing the work? I can have Ashlyn help me out here. So Ashlyn, what's 1 over 2x squared? How could I rewrite that to make it more friendly for antiderivatives? Yeah, no, I like that. 1/2 x to the negative 2. Because that's now ready to be antiderivative, or underived, however you want to phrase that. Avery, how about negative x squared over 2x squared? Oh, got an easy one there, I think. Aslan, how about negative 4x cubed over 2x squared? Negative 2x. Now we're ready for some antiderivatives. That's a good popsicle stick day. Oh, those are your favorite days too. Ava, how about, I'll give you the 1/2. How do I antiderivative x to the negative 2? Yes, you jumped ahead on me there, but yes, I would increase the power by 1, divide by negative 1, and so yeah, that would put an x in the bottom. So if we wanted to kind of algebra clean that up, negative 1 over 2x. Especially as I'm looking at my answer choices, I'm leaning towards C. I better do the rest of these to make sure. Holly, how about the antiderivative of negative 1/2? Negative 1/2 x. And Johnny, the antiderivative of negative 2x?
Negative x squared.
Negative x squared. So, yes, that matches with C. Only with plus C on the end of that. Goodness, we did 3 algebra problems and 3 calculus problems within that one problem. Oh, some free response and some trig. And number 19, which we've seen before, and I think I already told you you'll see again next Tuesday, so hope you like number 19. Anything on this page you would like to see?
Number
16.
16.
So we got some weird combination of things there. I say it's weird. I don't think it's too bad. We can ask Ben and James and Jace to help us out. I think we're ready to take antiderivatives. Ben, how about the antiderivative of 4e to the x? It is 4e to the x. James, how about the antiderivative of 12x squared? And you can simplify it or you can not simplify it, whichever way. increase the power by 1, and then divide by the new power.
So 4x.
And he opted to simplify on the fly, which is fine. Yes, increase the power by 1, that gets you x cubed. Divide by 3, 12 over 3 is 4. But if you had left it as 12 over 3, that'd be fine too. Jace, I don't know if this is fair to ask you for that antiderivative because you might want to do something first, but you might do it in your head and then do the antiderivative.
I got negative 2/3 x to the power of 3 over 2.
Yes. Did you write out an intermediate step, or did you just do that all in your head?
I wrote first like negative x to the 1/2.
Okay, that's probably wiser. Maybe not always necessary, but definitely wiser. Oh, why is that answer not right? Plus c. Usually on this test I take off a maximum amount because there's a bunch of problems that end with plus c, and if I take off 2 points and you forget it 10 times, that seems a little excessive to lose 20 points because of one thing. So I sort of cap it at some point. Hopefully you don't forget the plus c though. 17? 9 to the x? Let's pick on Seth. Why not? I got confidence in Seth. Even when Seth doesn't. Antiderivative of 9 to the x? Careful, x is in the exponent, so don't do add 1, divide by the new power. That is a very popular choice to say increase the power by 1, divide by the new power, but that's not how we do that problem. Would you like a hint?
Yes.
So for a hint, let's step back and think forward. Can you take the derivative of 9 to the x?
Does it have to be something in natural log?
It does.
Natural log of 9
Yep.
times 9 of x.
Times 9 to the x. Okay, so the derivative of 9 to the x is 9 to the x, but with this constant multiplied on there. So if I want to go backwards, if I want the underderivative of 9 to the x, I would divide by it. So it's still going to be 9 to the x, but I'll be dividing by natural log of 9. And of course not forgetting the plus c. Takwa?
Can you explain why we're dividing again?
When we take a derivative, we multiply by natural log of 9. So when we go backwards, antiderivative is going backwards. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. That's maybe the easiest way to say it. Just because I like number 19 so much that you'll see it multiple times. Jameson, how about number 19? You can just give me A, B, C, or D. Yep. That first symbol is antiderivative. F prime is derivative. So again, this is sort of like what's the square root of x squared or the cube root of x cubed. Like we're undoing each other, so we're back to f of x. And then don't forget the plus c. All right. Well, you're going to learn more by you doing them than me doing them. So with the rest of the time, you can work on worksheet 2, knowing that you have a quiz approaching on Thursday.